Hello romance, this is Aromie here. Welcome back to X Malice Unlimited. We are here at Matsushima's house trying to find some clues. As he spoke, Tachibana took a seat in front of a computer desk and turned on the PC's power.
ほら、これが事務所で話した変なファイル。ここ、アドニスのマークあるだろ?
Look, these are the weird files I told you guys about. This mark means it's Adonis, right? I saw some text files on the screen as I watched from behind Tachibana. It could take some work to decipher these. Actually, this looks like a programming language.
パスワードかかってるのもあるみたいだな。やっぱ引きこもりサイバーもやしのやつ、引きずってくるべきだったか。
Some of these look password locked. Maybe we should let the shut-in Bean Sprout nerd take a crack at them. Bean Sprout? That's an interesting name for a Takaru.
あの髪の毛くるくるくん、そんなすごいの?
Is Mr. Curly Hair really good at that? Yes, I'm completely out of my depth, but he specializes in breaking through security.
まあ今回はこの USB を託してくれたわけだし。
He did give us that USB drive.
挿せばいいんだよな。
Why don't we try plugging it in?
PC の方はしばらく様子を見るとして。その間に部屋を調べるか。
Let's search the rest of the room and we'll come back to the computer later. I was like, there's not much to look at around here. Okay, that being said, there isn't much to search.
男の一人暮らしなんてこんなもんじゃね？寝るために帰ってくるって感じの部屋だよな。
It's about what you'd expect for a bachelor. It feels like it's just a place to sleep at night. Yeah, it feels like there's no like personality in this place.
ワンルームにしては広めだが、めぼしい家具は冷蔵庫とシンク、PC デスク、ローテーブルと、あとは奥のベッドくらいか。
It's large for a single room studio, but the only major furnishings are a refrigerator, sink, desk, low table, and the bed in the back. Tachibana had said that the man didn't own anything suspicious, so that meant we have to look at each item thoroughly. Where to start? Oh shit, is this like a actual... Sometimes like you have to actually look at each place in a certain pattern. I should have pulled up a guide, but we're just gonna bullseye it, okay? We're gonna look in the kitchen first. I returned to the kitchen where Yanagi was still searching. He had a puzzled expression on his face. What's wrong? I assumed he noticed something, so I looked at the sink along with him, and I noticed something strange. This kitchen is awfully clean. Do not use it regularly.
それにしたって綺麗すぎる。包丁や食器なども使った形跡がない。
Regularly? The utensils and plates don't look like they've been used at
買っ
all.
たはいいが使わなかっただけというのも考えられるが。
The obvious conclusion would be that he bought them, but never used them. And it is true that a lot of people who live alone don't bother buying a full set of cookware. It would make sense if he went out to eat all the
だが
time.
松島は両親を早くに亡くして頼れる親戚もいないということだった。
But Matsushima's parents supposedly died when he was young, and he had no relatives to help him
都心
out.
に住むにはそれなりに金がかかる。食費は切り詰めそうじゃないか。
Living on your own is expensive. Typically, food is the first place to try to save money. Now that you mention it, it is rather odd that he doesn't seem to cook for himself at all. Even if he bought takeout food, it would be economically to at least cook rice at home. But he didn't seem to own a rice cooker.
そこの棚にカップラーメンがあったが、ポットはどこにもない。
There's also instant ramen on the shelf there, but no pot to cook in it. And there's definitely no microwave. Maybe he boiled water in a kettle or saucepan. I inspected the stove and shelves, but found neither of those. There doesn't seem to be a microwave, so he'd have no way to heat the water. Does he just eat it like chips? Because I used to do that when I was younger. It was reasonable to think Matsushima wouldn't buy instant food unless he had a way to prepare it. What does it mean? This was all a setup. This was all a complete setup. They rented out this apartment, tried to set it up as a place, and didn't think further about it. I felt like we could glean something about the resident's personality from the contents of his refrigerator. Pardon me. I opened the refrigerator, noting milk, beer, snacks, and prepackaged food scattered about the interior.
星野、どうだ?
Did you
何
find
か見つかった
anything,
か?
Hoshino? Well, looking at what's here, he doesn't seem like the type who cooks at home.
ちょっとそこの牛乳を取ってくれ。
I see. Hand me that milk. Alright. Is it spoiled? I handed Yanagi a carton of milk. He took out his cell phone and started looking something up. The seal isn't broken. It expires on December 15th. Did you notice something?
まあ、俺もたまに買っているが、このメーカーの牛乳の賞味期限は通常1週間程度だ。
Yeah, I buy this brand every once in a while. This brand of milk typically has an expiration date of about a week after purchase. Wait, that's weird. That means that it would have been packaged around December 7th.
だから今調べてみた。このメーカーは製造番号から製造日を検索できるサービスがあるからな。
That's precisely why I looked it up. The manufacturer has a service that lets you look up packing date from the serial number. Yo, does that? I don't think all milk companies do that, so never mind. What did you find?
製造日は12月6日と出た。
It was packaged on December 6th. Alright, this makes no complete sense then, because he disappeared the 5th. That was definitely odd. Matsushima was said to have disappeared on the 5th of December, so what was this carton milk doing here? It's been staged. It was staged. Tachibana, what about the USB drive? Did anything happen with the PC?
よくわかんないけど、なんか開いて勝手に動いてる。
I don't really know. Stuff just started happening once I plugged it in.
すげえガリガリ言ってて怖い。多分自動で解析してくれてんじゃないかな。
It's freaking me out. Is it just analyzing stuff on its own? I guess this is what Sasazuka meant when he said it'd give us what we need to
い
know.
やー、こんなプログラム組めるなんて、くるくるくんはすごいな。
Damn, Curls whipped this programming up? Impressive. It was probably best not to touch anything until the USB drive finished its job. I'll look somewhere else then. Wait, what's this? This isn't a clock. What are these red numbers? Something like a stopwatch was displayed in the top right of the computer screen. The number slowly decreased as if it was some sort of countdown. I didn't think it was there when we plugged like a USB drive in.
多分データの解析中ってことじゃない？ゼロになったら完了とか。
Who knows? Maybe that means it's reading the data. When it hits 0, it's finished. Or it completely erases everything. I see. It seemed a bit eerie to indicate that with a red countdown, though. Oops. Sasazuka, you didn't have to make it look like that.
まだかかりそうだし、終わったら呼ぶよ。他のとこ見てきたら？
It looks like it'll take a while, so I'll call you when it's finished. Why don't you look someplace else? Okay, then. I stepped away from the computer and looked around when something hit me. Come to think of it, there's no clock in this room. There wasn't even a DVD player with a clock. He could have turned on the TV by his bed to get time, but a sales job would require him to be punctual. He must have at least owned a wristwatch. I looked for it, but couldn't find one. Is that a trash can? Maybe there were some clues left behind in the garbage bin. I lifted the lid and rummaged through the trash.
ちょい待ち。成人男性のゴミ箱を年頃の女が漁るとかいたたまれねえ。
Ew. Hold it, a woman shouldn't be digging through a grown man's trash. This is an investigation, you know. I hope I have gloves on, Jesus.
すみません。
Right. Sorry. What's in your trash, Inamoto? I cast a sidelong glance at Inamoto, who was fidgeting for some reason, and checked the contents of the garbage. 2 tissues, that's all there is in here.
しかもこのティッシュ汚れた痕跡がねえな。使わないでただ丸めただけっつうか。
They don't look like they've been soiled. But did he just throw them away without using them? There's another bin by the computer. I'll check there. Similarly, I looked through the other bin, but it was nearly empty, save for a few scraps of paper. Why do you think there isn't a single piece of food or drink waste?
ゴミ出しして間もなかったとか？
Maybe he'd just taken out the trash? If he deliberately took the trash out, then it could mean he was tidying up.
テーブルのとこには食べかけの菓子置きっぱだぜ。
But
床にも服が散乱してるし。
he left some half-eaten snacks around the table, and there are dirty clothes lying on the floor. One part of the room is messy, while the other is unusually tidy. There's 2 people living here, then. Has to be. I checked the entrance and saw several pairs of shoes lined up.
革靴とスニーカー、それにサンダルか。どれも靴底が擦れてねえな。
Leather shoes, sneakers, and a pair of sandals, all with new soles. Speaking of which, they're all relatively clean. Maybe he regularly bought new shoes or just didn't use them that often.
いや、営業なら外回りが多いだろうから、革靴は使うだろ
No, salesmen have to walk a lot, so the leather shoes should be pretty worn. But he only has one pair of working shoes that we can see.
おそらく普段使いの革靴は履いて出て行ったんだろうな。にしても
We can assume he wore his most used shoes the last time he went out, but
予備の革靴はまだしもスニーカーもサンダルも新品同様って変じゃねえか。
even with a backup pair at home, don't you think it's weird that sneakers and sandals are both new? It could have been that he was so busy working that he rarely had a chance to go out in anything other than his work
ま
clothes.
あそうかもな。
You could be right. I know that's really worrying Enomoto. It's true that the shoes don't have signs of wear yet. There wasn't a speck of dirt in the entryway. If he really was a salesman who had to walk all over town, some grime was to be expected. Perhaps he was the neat freak, but Tachibana's never mentioned anything about that. Yanagi and Enomoto seem to have finished searching the
星野
apartment.
何か気になったとこあったか。
Anything catch your eye, Hoshino? Yeah, how the fact that everything is so perfectly clean in here. Yes, first regarding the resident. Everything's clear after searching the room. The resident of the studio was neither. It's like two people lived here, but then not. Neat.
そうか。俺はしっくりこないけど。
I kind of figured it was not neat, but I wanted to go with neat. They're neither. Oh shit, I chose it again, my
俺
bad.
はしっくりこないけど。
Apparently my inner self is like, they're neat, they're really neat, even though the table over there is like dirty. Neither. I can't tell whether he's sloppy or neat. It feels like a weird mix of
No.
both.
どちらの面もあって不思議はないが、それにしても極端だ。
Yeah, either one would be natural, but this feels like both extremes.
ですよね。服や郵便物は適当に放置されてんのに、ゴミらしいゴミや埃もない。
It's like they didn't know whether to make the guy dirty or super clean. So they're like both. Right, there's clothes and unopened mail randomly strewn around, yet not a bit of trash or speck of
隅
dirt.
々まで掃除すんなら物は整理しろよって言いたくなるっつうか。なんか気持ち悪い。
If you're picking up to clean every nook and cranny of the place, then organize your staff, too. This place just doesn't feel right.
キッチンにも食器や調理器具が揃っているが、使っている様子がない。
There are tableware and cookware sets in the kitchen, but they look completely
自
unused.
炊しないにしても、レトルト系が多いなら、それこそゴミが出るはずだ。
And if they didn't cook at home and ate out often, there would at least be waste. And that means nobody ever lived here. Somebody was cleaning the room. Oh, it could be possible that somebody cleaned the room, but like literally, I don't think nobody ever lived here.
そうだ。ここにはそもそも誰かが住んでいた形跡がない。
Precisely. There's no evidence that someone ever lived
雑多に
here.
置いてあるものは急遽設置されたものと考えた方が説明がつく。
It's the best explanation for why so much of this apartment looks as if things were hastily planted in it. I nodded. At a quick glance, it seemed like somebody had lived here, but in reality, nobody ever had. Had Matsushima even really lived here? Tense with caution, I turned to look at Tachibana. He seemed to be feigning ignorance and pulled out the USB drive, which seemed to have finished.
解析終わったみたいだよ。USB 返しとくね。
You kind of being real sus, Tachibana. Even though we do know he's working for the guy that I don't remember his name. I think the scan is done. Here's your thumb drive. All right. Tachibana was smiling cheerfully and didn't immediately look suspicious, but I seriously doubt he's uninvolved. He was the reason we had come here to begin with. If this was all a setup, then what was he actually planning?
さて、次はどこを調査すんの？てか、ここまでで何か分かった？
So where should we go next? Actually, what did you guys learn?
その前に依頼を再確認したい。
Before that, I'd like to recap the job
立
again.
花千里。お前はこの部屋に住んでいた友人、松島翔太を探してほしいんだったな。
Chisato Tachibana, you wanted us to find your friend Shota Matsushima, who is living here, is that correct?
そうだよ。今さらどうしたの？
That's right, what about it?
そうか。なら、その依頼は破棄させてもらう。
I see, we're dumping this case. Holy fuck. Instinctively, I gasped at Yanagi's blunt reply. Enomoto and Tachibana, however, had their eyes quietly focused on Yanagi and didn't betray their emotions.
それはまたどうして探偵さんには手に負えない事件ってこと？
Oh, but why? Is the job too much for you, Mr. Detective?
そうだ。
That's right.
マジで？お手上げ？
Wait, seriously, you're giving up?
ああ。存在しない人間は探せない。そう言っている。
Yeah, we can't find someone who doesn't exist. That's what I'm telling you. Ooh. Tachibana, you made up a fake character. A fake character, and you pulled us into this random house. This is getting weird. It's getting creepy in a way. But anyway, this is where we're going to stop for today's episode. I cannot wait to find out what's going to happen in the next one. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.